Today we're going to be making chocolate covered strawberries, but we're gonna make them look like a bride and groom. So let's put our hair up. There we go. So the first thing that you're going to do is obviously wash your strawberries, but in my opinion, the key to having good strawberries for dipping is to bring them to room temperature, then wash them. You can wash them with a little bit of vinegar and then dry them really good and let them sit for a while so that there's no residue on there. That way your chocolate doesn't start to crack from any condensation or anything like that. So we have our strawberries all ready to go. I put them on a pan with a little bit of wax paper. You can probably use parchment paper too, but I used wax today. Then we're going to get our chocolate, or in this case for the white, I'm using candy melts, and then I'm using a semi-sweet chocolate for the dark portions. Usually when I dip strawberries, I like to dip it in something that's a little bit more narrow because I want to get the whole thing in there without wasting a whole bunch of chocolate and creating a lot of surface area. But for this one, since we're only going to dip like half of the strawberry at a time, I'm going to get bowls so that you have more surface area to dip the strawberry in. Okay, so now we're going to melt our candy melts and our chocolate. I'm gonna start with the white first because we wanna get the front part of the tuxedo done. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave for about 30 seconds to let it start melting. And once it really starts to get down there, we can temper it by adding a little bit more. This is already in a big old clump. I'm gonna try to speed this up, save myself some time. I'm going to put some of my, it's not dark chocolate. I was gonna call it brown chocolate. My semi-sweet chocolate into the microwave while I'm kind of stirring this one up. For some reason I have that Bruno Mars song stuck in my head. But darling, I still catch a grenade for you. Throw my head on the blade for you. Yeah, this definitely, where did you come from? All right, you can tell that first 30 seconds doesn't really do a whole lot, but you want to stir it up so that the pieces that are touching the hot sides of the bowl will be moved around, and the ones that are in the middle will now be touching middle. All right, so you can see this one was pretty thoroughly melted, and then I added a little bit more unmelted chocolate to it to kind of temper it and bring it back to a cooler temperature. Candy melts are different than white chocolate. White chocolate, you have to get a really low melting point or you'll burn it. Candy melts, they're a little bit more forgiving. So we're just gonna kind of let this melt into itself. And then here we have the chocolate. I did the same thing. Now that we have our white chocolate nice and melted and our regular chocolate is on its way to being melted, we're gonna go ahead and start with the white for the tuxedo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the front of the strawberry and I'm just gonna dip that front half in all the way up to the top, drip it off a little bit, and then set it back over to the side. So that's gonna be like his little shirt. Another thing to take note of that I didn't really think of is how your strawberry sits. You wanna make sure that you're dipping in completely the other side so that it still sits straight up and not wiggles over. Awesome. All right, so we're dipping front. Get all the little leaves out of the way. And we're gonna dip the front, just like that, just the front. I wanted to try to get a different angle so you can actually see it being dipped in there. Nice. So we have the base for our tuxedos done. Now we're going to take the brides. I'm going to take the bride strawberries, and instead of dipping just one half, we're going to dip half, and we're going to dip this half. So that way it creates kind of like a little V shape in the front here, and then later we'll go back in and we'll put a little necklace on her. Do half all the way up, and ooh, that's a little bit of cleavage right there. We don't want that much. There we go. I probably could have gotten a little bit cleaner pull on that one. Do half, and then the other half. That one's good. Okay, I'm gonna do one more like this, and then I might do another technique where it's just all the way up, where we just do the whole thing, and then we can pipe like a little squiggly design on there. I'm just gonna roll the whole thing in, all the way up. We got that little stupid little piece on there. Rude. Okay, ignore that. It's just a piece of strawberry, but still annoying. Okay, I'm gonna do another one where it's fully dipped. And you don't want to shake the strawberries because it will make the chocolate kind of start to slip, which creates little cracks on there. Alrighty, we've melted our regular chocolate, our brown chocolate, and put a little bit of the regular temperature chocolate in there, the actual chocolate chips, to hopefully get it to temper nicely so that it doesn't come off with that like crusty look afterwards. But we'll see. All right, so we're gonna take our little grooms. I need 2 hands for this. And now that the white chocolate, or I should say white candy melt, has dried pretty well, we're going to take this, and then we're still gonna do the half and half dip, just like we did with the brides. I'm going to dip and dip, pulling it out very gently. Scrape the side if you need to get that little bit off. Oh my gosh, it's so stubborn. Okay, so then we're gonna put this back down on our sheet, and that little guy is going to get the 3 dots and maybe a little bow tie. We'll pipe those on at the very end. So let's go ahead and make a few more. Dip half and dip half. Oh my God, they're so cute. All right, half and half on the other side. Do make sure that you're getting the back of these too. Yeah, that one went up pretty good. These are gonna look so stinking cute. Now I wish I had like little like bow tie sprinkles. I should make some out of royal icing. All right. All right, I went ahead and put some of the melted white candy melts into a piping bag. And we're gonna snip off the tiniest little bit of the end here. Hopefully that didn't land on one of those. Little bit. Okay. I think I'm gonna be a little bit extra, and I'm gonna try to do like a neckline and then the necklace. Oh no, that kind of got together there. Okay, then we're just gonna do little dots. For the necklace! Okay, I'm not gonna hold the rest of those because they started to melt in my hand. So I'm gonna do them on the counter. Ah. All right, now that we've done with the brides, we're gonna do the same thing for the grooms. I'm just gonna cut a really tiny little pin size hole right in there. Seriously, make sure you do it smaller than you might even think that you need to do it. Focus, I tell you. There it is. You see it? Really teeny tiny little pinhole. Because your chocolate is so warm and it's gonna spread. So you don't want it to be a bigger hole because it's gonna spread even more. Adorable. I might be adventurous and do a bow tie, but I think the dots are pretty darn cute. Let's try it. Let's try a bow tie. No, I can't make myself do it. So here we have our pan of our little brides and grooms. I'm going to let the chocolate set for a little bit at just room temperature before I put them in the fridge because I don't want them to like get all weird. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I'm gonna do. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. If you guys make these, let me know down in the comments and let me know if there's something else you want to see. Subscribe so we can keep baking. Bye.